Just a little flex in there, messing around, because why not? So the 5% Nutrition, the company that was started with Rich Piana and his whole 5%, whatever it takes type of attitude and the following he gathered, and he started the 5% Nutrition Company. And I saw a video earlier today, I guess it was today, maybe it was last night, from I think it was Mr. Yorkie Lover Fitness YouTube channel. Basically, he was questioning whether or not this particular supplement company is going to be able to survive. And for me, this is not a video I'm making to where I can just like be a hater or to really just try to be negative about this this situation. It's more of an observation, and I think it's my thoughts are what a lot of people think. Now, when you look at the death of Rich Piana, unfortunately, he had some issues. His heart, I believe, was twice the normal size for a human being. He had some other medical problems in the autopsy. I'm not going to go through that whole list. It's out there. You can look it up on YouTube. So unfortunately, yeah, he had a lot of problems, and his photo of him on the his protein or the various supplements that he was selling, his photo was on it. His arms are freakishly big, but they don't necessarily even look normal, nor did he even look healthy. And that's just being honest. It's not trying to be mean. So the point is, with this part of this video, is to talk about the photo and the image on the supplements for the 5% Nutrition. It's just a bit of it doesn't necessarily speak to health, in my opinion, or a lot of people's opinions when they see that. In fact, some people were turned off by that. But I understand that his strategy was for a particular market. A lot of young people who looked up to him or found him to be charismatic and just entertaining. So I get that side of it. The thing is now with his death, and they're still using the photo on the supplements. Even though these supplements are legit, they have good ingredients. I've actually heard some people who know their stuff as far as the industry say good things about the products they sell. So that's not the problem. The ingredients are legit, the products are quality. The problem now is that Rich Piana's death, it punctuates the contradiction of how he actually was, and now with his death was a contradiction of health. There's nothing about the man that was healthy or really is you'd want to use as your poster boy or person or your mascot for the fitness industry. And that's a whole another conversation. We could just talk about that in terms of how the fitness industry and what fitness represents has been hijacked. It's been hijacked by sensationalism, outrageousness, and ridiculous type of situations. Now, without going into all the details of Rich Piana, people know that he injected not necessarily synthol oil, but those glass type B type of particles that are used in plastic surgery, PMB or something like that. You can look it up on Google. I've read the article on it, and how there was reports of him going to Mexico to get the injections over time. If you look at his arms are very distorted looking. Obviously, there was something beyond what can happen within nature of the human anatomy of musculature, even with androgenic anabolic steroids or other anabolic agents. You're just not going to get that type of distorted look in what he had. Not to mention, unfortunately, he had some other unhealthy behaviors, recreational type drugs. I won't go into all those, but just things that were reported. And as far as different news outlets and then people who knew him. And then some of the outlandish things, snorting pre-workout, those types of things, just reckless type of behavior. And this is not trying to talk about him as far as whether he was a nice guy to people or his overall personality. Rather, what I'm talking about are components of his lifestyle. And objectively speaking, people would have to say, yeah, he had some reckless behaviors over time, which led to his premature demise. So with that said, there was a supplement company where I live, and they had the 5% as one of the supplements you could choose from. to buy their products. And since Rich Piana has passed away last year, I just don't, you don't see people moving towards those products, or if anything, being turned off by them. And I haven't even seen them on the shelf now. And my opinion, my theory is that within the market of people who are potential customers to buy health products, and I've dealt with a lot of them, having been in the fitness industry as a trainer, counselor, and so on, you can see all walks of life come into a supplement store to buy products such as whey protein, branched chain amino acids, pre-workouts, you name it. There's a lot of stuff out there. They may go in there looking because they have goals of weight loss, or they're just trying to build muscle. The goals vary, but what I have seen is that you have people who, while they might be, have a gym rat mentality, or meathead if you want to use that mentality, they're also educated people at the same time. They have critical thinking skills, and some people, they just have a sense of, I don't know, you want to use the word self-respect or ethics. And even though a product may have legit ingredients, it's just something about a contradiction, something that people intuitively in themselves, they don't respect it. And so they're not going to support that by buying that particular product. And so I've heard these discussions happen when, people talking about this unfortunate situation when Rich Piana passed away, whether or not these supplements would be able to continue with that brand and with the same message, whatever it takes. Because I understand having an attitude of never quitting, never giving up, and you do what's necessary to be successful. Unfortunately, my observation is with the Rich Piana phenomenon and his behavior and his, things he did to grab attention, like doing shots of tequila in between sets of deadlifts, I think of Big J and Big J's Fitness. Whether they actually drank a bottle of Patron, who knows, but it doesn't send a good message to young teenagers, younger people that are coming up, who are still, developmentally speaking, in terms of their own judgment, discernment, and trying to develop themselves. They're not fully developed yet. They're still learning. They're finding out who they are, their place, and everything in this life. So having that as a role model out there, and at the same time marketing and selling products that ostensibly are for health and a fitness type goals and a fitness lifestyle, it's just a sharp contrast and contradiction that the MASCOT, the man behind it, whose pictures on the products, is now dead due to that lifestyle, due to the reckless whatever it takes. So my opinion is, if they are to survive, the people who have the stakeholders, people who have money invested in that, to try to, spend the company, redefine in a more responsible manner the message of whatever it takes. If you want to say whatever it takes and only 5%, in my opinion, that's great, that's fine. I think there is a smaller percentage of people who are willing to do what it takes to be successful. There is truth to that. But I think there's also a healthy balance with the statement of doing whatever it takes, that there's some responsibility in that statement, because you have young people who hear that and they take it literally to heart. Whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. I'm going to inject motor oil into my muscle bellies. I'm going to, hey, that ridiculous steroid stack that Rich Piana did, whatever it takes to get big, he did it. And even though they said don't try this at home, well, shit, he did it, and look, I'm going to do that too. Well, I think his death punctuates now. Hopefully it'll be something that people who were infatuated with him younger, maybe it'll wake them up, get their attention, and for them to realize that there are consequences. You can eventually pay the piper sooner or later. Now, things done in extreme, done excessively, it's a dangerous situation. And I'm not talking about people who do things moderately, responsibly, and who are healthy. This is not a debate on whether, what exactly killed Rich Piana. But, you can safely say that the contributing factors were what he was putting in his body, including excessive amounts, of his protocol of all the drugs he put in his body. So that is something that they have to contend with now. Do they want to continue forward with the same marketing strategy whatever it takes, keep a photo of a person who's dead and 6 feet under, and that's going to be the direction they're going to continue in. Who knows? Maybe they'll still be around and still have that on there. It's one thing if your mascot or your poster boy, whoever it is you're using to market your product, it's one thing if they lived a normal lifespan, they lived out their full, relatively speaking, a long life, or at least an average lifespan, and then eventually passed away like most people do. It's one thing if that's what's happened, and then you keep their image on there to honor and respect and so on. And there's nothing wrong with honoring and wanting to respect someone who passed away, but the problem is that Rich Piana died, I believe he was 45, 46 years old. I'll be 47 in May, and I'm actually was and am a bit older than Rich Piana. So it's kind of like when I hear about the situation, I think about somebody who's in my age demographic. Just it's not much difference, just months in age. So when I see that, that's premature death. That's not people dying in their 40s. That's not very normal. It's very unusual these days. If somebody dies that at an early age prematurely, it's usually because something brought that about, and that's the whole point of using his photo and image. It speaks to that. It's a contradiction. They see that and like, oh, that guy died when he was 45 or 46. Damn, that's young to pass away. And here are these products, health and fitness, being marketed. So I'm not the only one who sees that contradiction, who feels that way. So it's nothing about him as a person. I never knew him personally. A lot of people on YouTube say, oh, he was the nicest guy, he was very personable, and so on. Most people have redeeming qualities that are good things, and I'm sure Rich Piana had very good things about his behavior that people who knew him can speak about, and they have on YouTube. So this is just a honest observation, opinion about the whole 5% movement, and then 5% nutrition, the company Rich Piana was instrumental in starting, and then the whatever it takes. I think that in my opinion, the responsible thing to do is that if anything can come from his death that can be used for good, is that to try to redirect some of the young people that were infatuated or followers of him, and may still be, who were buying into that whatever it takes and taking that literally, that it doesn't matter. That quote or that saying can be used more responsibly, that you do what's necessary, but be responsible. Think about the long term of your life, and that there are consequences. And at the end of the day, it's about your health, wellness, fitness, and longevity. So can they salvage this and keep it into a sustainable long-term situation to where you're going to have Rich Piana's photo on all of his products 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Or are they going to have to maybe put on a fit person on there who's muscular, who's preferably not dead, and who's living a good long life, relatively speaking, or at least on the average a long life as compared to, say, someone who passes away in their 40s, for example, like Mr. Piana. So these are my 2 cents. This is my thoughts on this. Feel free to leave your comments below. If you want to subscribe to my channel, go ahead. My channel, I'm going to talk about a variety of things, fitness, health, wellness, but I may speak on other current affairs and other things, and so that's why my channel prefer just to have it as a variety channel instead of just trying to do multiple things. So you tell me what you think. Do you think I'm being a hater, or am I just being honest? I think I'm just being honest, and I think that what I said was done respectfully and in truth, and it's sometimes it's like the emperor has no clothes, but somebody has to say it, and I just did. So until I make my next video, I hope you have a nice day, and thank you for watching. Boom.